Hello, and welcome back. I'm Estrella, your lovely host. The incident today is a hoppy one. I'll dub this incident the last turn before Colchester. Allow the evidence to speak for itself. Oh, but Estrella, where's your lab coat? Well, my dear friends, it was stolen by the jester. And you'll see him here and there, the little prankster. He's been keeping himself hidden for a while now, but my guess is he's getting a little bored. So, on with the pranking and the chaos. Also, please excuse my voice. I'm trying to get rid of this cold. This closet is not temperature controlled. So, alas, it made me sick. But before we get into this case, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and hit that noti bell so you don't miss a video from us. And now, let's get into it. Maya Temples is a 18-year-old high school dropout. She has a pixie cut, platinum blonde with red tips, and a lot of piercings. Ranging from her ears to her face, she has a total of 30 piercings altogether. Maya was put up for adoption when she was a baby. A nice couple, Mr. and Mrs. Henry, adopted her as their foster child. And she didn't drop out of high school until her junior year, and it was just because she was struggling with her grades and had a problem with rules and regulations. It just became too overwhelming for her, and she desired to just choose an easier path, so she got her GED instead. And she worked at a gas station in Washington, D.C. Her foster parents told her that she didn't need to work or pay rent, that they just wanted her to go to college and make something of herself. But she felt that she needed to do something to help around the house, and that she felt like she was a burden and staying there for free, especially since she was technically an adult now. So she wanted to make sure she was doing her part. But rolling back in time, however, she turned 14. The Henrys told her that her biological parents had another child they were giving up for adoption. Maya had a little brother, and his name is Liam. And he has the same dark hazel eyes that Maya has, except his hair is a dusty blonde. They didn't have any other family aside from each other as far as they knew. And once Maya turned 18, the Henrys gave Maya a 2001 Chevy Cavalier for her birthday. Maya then gained custody of Liam, so now they won't ever be separated again. And Maya and Liam had been living in Washington, D.C., but now they were on their way to Virginia. Maya did one of those genetic tests, you can see your ancestry and all that. And she found that she has an aunt in Richmond. She had a hold of her aunt, and her aunt didn't even know her sister had children, so she was super excited to meet them both. This incident happens on the road to her aunt's house. Maya was heading down a gravel road, and it was a fall night, so it was all on chilly side. October 5th, 2007. The GPS had rerouted her once again, shocker, through a place she had never heard of, Colchester Road. The map called it the shortest route, but the locals would have called it a mistake. And soon, you'll understand why. Her younger brother was slouched in the passenger seat with his earbuds in and his phone screen glowing in the dark. He loved Washington, D.C. so much, so he was really upset that they had left, and now they were on their way to some stranger's house. And don't worry, Maya kept reassuring that they were going to see actual family. And as she crept down the gravel road, Maya noted the creepy trees that were slowly becoming more and more dense, and the branches over the road looked like some sort of skeletal arms. And then she came across a short, narrow bridge, old and made of concrete. And as the car rolled under the low overpass, something scraped against the roof. A sharp sound like metal dragging against metal. And Maya slammed on the brakes, figuring she had hit something or her car was just too tall for this overpass. Looks can be quite deceiving, that is for sure. I drive it for a living, big old delivery truck, so I know how sketchy going under. So I know how sketchy it can be going under low overpasses. It scares me every freaking time. But back to the incident. Maya had checked in the mirrors and nothing. Just darkness and the gravel dust settling down, reflecting red from her taillights. Then a thud on the trunk. Maya had turned in her seat to get a look at what was there, and through the fogginess of the rear window, and there it was. A figure, tall, still, and white, wearing a filthy, stitched-together bunny costume. It looked like it had once been cute. Years ago, before time and rot got to it, so it's kind of rough looking. And in its one hand, glinting in the moonlight, was a hatchet. Maya told her brother to get down and don't move, and of course, being the typical teenager, Liam didn't want to listen, so he yelled at the man and he was making sure that he was all right. The figure didn't move for a while and then tilted its head, like an animal trying to figure out what he had said or whether it wanted an attack or not. Maya rolled up that window so fast and tried to get out of there as quickly as possible, but the car seemed to be stuck or stalled or something, and the figure began to walk slowly toward her car, dragging the hatchet on the ground, creating sparks against the concrete. The figure's face came into view more so now. Through a tear in the hood, Maya could see its eyes, cold and glassy like a taxidermied animal that had once been human. It raised the hatchet, and Maya floored it. The car finally lurched forward, tires squealing the entire way, and they made it over the bridge, but just barely. You guys, my heart is just thumping away at my chest right now. Hearing this is just giving me so much anxiety for them. It's not even funny. And the figure just stood there and waved as they drove away. Not like menacing or even a friendly wave, just acknowledging. It seemed like it was letting them know that next time they won't drive away. And of course, Maya filed a police report when they arrived in Richmond, and the officer who took her statement understood what she was talking about and asked if she was near Colchester, and she had simply said yes, and he had given her a knowing nod and explained that she had met the Bunnyman. The Bunnyman is still waiting and still sharpening his hatchet and still deciding who gets to get away and who doesn't. Maya and Liam were the lucky few to drive away and live to tell the tale. Unfortunately, that didn't happen for this poor soul, and his name was Agent Maxwell. Agent Maxwell is a part of another corporation that I work for. I have to be very careful about what I say. Otherwise, the Foundation will hear of it, and I'll be in big trouble. And he was tasked to scope out the area for the other agents to assist, and wasn't supposed to get so close to the bridge, or even think about going over or under it for that matter. But being the overachiever he was, wanting to get as much intel as he could with this creature. And it was about midnight when he had arrived at the scene, and his body cam was activated. And it can be seen that he's surveying the area, keeping a keen eye out for the Bunnyman. There's no way he's going to capture this thing by himself, and he shouldn't even have been out there by himself for that matter. But he insisted that he was a big boy and could do a simple survey of the land by himself, and it was child's work, he said. Keep that in mind, this is all from the body cam that Gary had retrieved for us, so giving a little play-by-play and how this all went down. And as he got to the bridge, or what it looks like the end of it, there's rustling. Wind, maybe? Or honestly, not sure. It was very dark that night, even being a new moon and all that. And with his night cam active, it was very hard to discern what was what, honestly. And he can be then seen stepping into the bridge a bit further, and the rustling stopped, replaced with a thumping sound. And we're pretty sure that was his heartbeat. It was thudding so loud, the audio on the body cam picked it up. He got about halfway down the bridge when he stopped, and he did a quick sweep of the area and then proceeded across the other side. And now, this, guys, is where everything goes downhill. And he stepped around the guardrail at the end of the bridge and proceeded to go down underneath. He could hear the steady rush of the water under the bridge, unmixed with the thumping again. There was 2 sets of thumps this time. One was for sure his rapid heartbeat. The other was steady and heavy. It came from the opposite side of the tunnel, and Agent Max then turned on his flashlight, trying to get a look at whatever was making that noise. and then he saw it. Dressed in this filthy, sagging rabbit suit that looked like it was soaked in something dark. It was tall and lanky, and the mask looked like an old, cracked porcelain Easter decoration that was left out in the rain for decades. And it just didn't move. It just tilted its head like a puppet, slow and jerky, and had this horrid, grotesque grin. Agent Max then took off running in the opposite direction, but the thumping was closing in behind him fast. Agent Max then yelped in pain as he tripped and stepped straight into a hole running up the side of the hill out from under the bridge. And his body cam shifted, and what would happen is that he snapped his ankle, and it was a compound fracture, a very, very nasty break. The steady thumping stopped, and the body cam shifted again, and this time it was pointed towards the Bunnyman himself. Raising his axe over his head, just as the axe came down, the body cam footage cut out, and that was the last time we ever saw Max. Well, how did this Bunnyman come to be, you ask? Well, there are a few stories that have been told over the years, and who knows if they're true or not, and especially the more gruesome ones. He first appeared on October 19th, 1970, when a couple who continued to remain anonymous were parked near the Guinea Road, which is really close to the Bunnyman Bridge. It was around midnight when they were driving back from a football game, going to visit an uncle who lived across the street from where they had parked their car. They were then confronted by a man wearing a white suit with bunny ears who threw a hatchet through their car window, yelling threats about trespassing and la-di-da-da. And obviously, well, not obviously, the couple emerged uninjured, and they went to the police to report the incident, bringing the hatchet in question because when the Bunnyman had threw it through the car window, it landed on the floorboards, and the Bunnyman just ran away. There were no supporting clues or leads with the hatchet, and the investigation yielded nothing further, and the case was eventually closed altogether. Then, again, October 29th, 1970, when a security guard around the same area reported a man in a bunny costume chopping at a porch post with a long-handled axe, and warning the guard about trespassing and making threats that if he came any closer, he would chop his head off. The security guard had been just doing patrol around a construction site when he had seen a man standing on a porch of an unfinished, unoccupied home. It was also said that he allegedly escaped from a mental asylum, who started leaving dead rabbits as a food source and a warning. The Colchester overpass had become the focal point, with stories saying the escapee, or at least his ghost, haunts it, hanging bodies of the trespassers from the structure. Is it just a ghost story, or is it all true? The world may never know. All I know is that what happened to Maya and Liam and what happened to poor Agent Max, those were both very true. Wow. Guys, this incident was definitely something. My anxiety is up to here. Probably a little bit higher. It's just skyrocketing just thinking about it. But I hope you learned something. Let us know down in the comments what your thoughts and your feelings and what creepypasta you'd like to see in the next case. Until then, be safe, courteous, and polite out there. And remember, stay anomalous. Until next time.